Hello, people. This is your host and host Kranti once again back with another new What If, and this is What If. Oh boy, aka Zaku Midoriya, the one and only Deku, was an Otsutsuki part 3. So in the last part where we were, Deku essentially had he demolished the core apprehension test, and he got in UI obviously. So now we're gonna go to the heroes versus villain like the battle portion. So okay, this is today. The Aizawa says, today I'm not gonna teach you guys a lesson, and the person who will teach you a lesson is coming right now. And All Might is like, ho ho ho, it is I, All Might, walking like a normal person, trying to teach you guys a new lesson, and we're gonna do combat training, yeah. And by the way, the clothes makes the pros, so grab your costume, my friend, my fellow heroes. So he everybody grabs a costume, and Deku, he's gonna have like a Otsutsuki cloak, like the one the Momoshiki wears. He's gonna have like pure white Otsutsuki cloak. And so yeah, that's gonna, and people are gonna be like, man, that's trippy, it has good airflow probably. Yeah, Kirishima is like, damn, that's so manly. And Deku is like, yeah, thank you. I guess. Then, and he's gonna have like bunch of kunais in there, and some like a small like katana, not a katana, we'll have a small ninjato, because come on, he's from Naruto, so I'm gonna give him like little bit of like ninja gear. So some kunai, some shuriken, and some some ninjato. Yeah, ninjato, like some katana. So the heroes versus villain arc. So it's gonna be like Bakugo versus Ida as the villain versus Izuku versus Uraraka as the hero. So like the original timeline, they win, but how they win, I'm gonna say. So Bakugo comes and he just like uses humongous explosion, and Deku like puts his palm in front of it, and his Rina Sharingan activates, and he just like eats, he just like devours the whole flames of the explosion. And he says like, thank you, Bakugo. And he's like, explosion release, and he just releases like ginormous like explosion release, explosion style explosion. He just comments like, he just gives some like, put some hand signs, and he says like, explosion style, continuous explosion. And he doesn't even like explode anything from his hand, it's just like continuous explosion on the air, like from back forth, like from 4 directions, like omnidirectional explosion happening one after another. It's kind of like barrage of paper bombs. And Bakugo is like, what the fuck, what the hell? Bakugo is just like completely knocked out. And after that, Deku says to Uraraka, tie him up, we gotta have to take care of the speedy guy. So he goes there, and Deku creates Shadow Clone Jutsu. I mean, come on, he has chakra, so he knows Shadow Clone Jutsu. So not Shadow Clone Jutsu, he creates like a bunch of clone jutsu. So clones like coming from every direction. Ida is like, huh, it is I, the villain, will stop you, you hero. And he just goes there and reciprocal burst, and he kicks him, and it turns out it's just a shadow. And like Deku and Uraraka touch the bomb from behind, because Uraraka can use zero gravity, and Deku can literally fly. I mean, come on, he's an Otsutsuki, so he can literally fly. So he uses like some kind of like and he can use like space teleportation jutsu, so he teleports towards it, and Deku and Uraraka just can like go there. I mean, it's just easy, just goes behind, like he sends like clones of Uraraka and Deku up there. There's like 50 of them clones, like both of them 50-50, so 100. So Ida is like, oh, such tricks won't work on me, hero. And they just go from behind, and Ida is like kicking clones left and right. And All Might announces, winner, the hero team. And when they come, All Might says flawless victory. That was textbook perfect, amazing. So after that incident, we're gonna go to the USJ arc, and in the USJ arc, we're gonna do crazy stuff. Okay, so the USJ arc, because Kurogiri has like teleportation, not like he has warp, and Deku has like space-time ninjutsu, which is kind of like warp but for dimensional trouble. So that's gonna be like one hell of a trippy match. So the villains come, and Deku is like, okay, that's a problem. So there's like villains coming out, and he's like, okay, he just activates his Byakugan, and he sees like bunch of villains, and he sees like humongous villain in the water area, and then he deducts that, okay, the villains don't know about the students' coke. If they knew, like then Froppy, I forgot her name, wouldn't be in the water area. So he says like, okay, grab onto me. So Minata and Froppy, they grab onto him. He just floats. He just like goes upward, and he just like releases like lightning style, lightning thunder strike, and he just like creates like lightning strike, and every villain there is like flat, and they're like unconscious. So like unconscious, and it's just like, okay. Then he says like, protect your fellow classmates and defeat all of the other like villains. And he just like they just go ham on them, and he just goes to the main hero and main part of the part, and he says like 13 is destroyed because of Kurogiri's coke, and he's like, oh, you can do portal, I can do portal too. And then what he does, he literally like when Kurogiri is like using his portal, because Kirishima and Bakugo is like trying to hurt him. So Kirishima and Bakugo, instead of going through Kurogiri's portal, Deku creates his own portal, and then creates another portal in the back of Kurogiri's, and they just like Kirishima just literally punches Kurogiri's head, which is like submerged in the mist, and like wrecks the shit out of Kurogiri. Kurogiri is like down for count, but before that he's like he just activates like the Nomu that is like trying to like the Nomu, the ginormous Nomu comes, and Deku cracks his knuckles like this, and he cracks his neck like this, and he's like, okay, let's go to Part A. By the way, that was me cracking my knuckles. And he just goes to a taijutsu battle with the Nomu. He's just like hitting him with like the Hyuga gentle fist technique, like 4 palms, 8 palms, 48 palms, 64 palms, 28 palms, 128 palms. It's just like he goes like that, and he's just like trying to like block his chakra point. But Deku, but the Nomu has like a shock absorption coke, and he can like shrug it off. And Deku is like, okay, so gotta have to be more direct. So it's like an awesome taijutsu battle between the Nomu and like everybody, and Kirishima says like, oh, that's so bloody manly, he's crying, and everybody else is just like, whoa man, that's amazing. And meanwhile Ida goes, and he's trying to get all the like villain, all the heroes to come here. And while they're doing the whole thing, like they're like the Nomu is getting weaker, but it's still not getting down. So Deku is like, okay, that's it, I'm gonna finish it. So he opens like he like uses like some kind of like Rinnegan ability, like one of those Rinnegan abilities, and he uses like Shinra Denshi. So he just like literally pushes the Nomu like really, really far, but yet the Nomu is coming towards him, and he's like he literally uses the almighty pull, and the Nomu is coming toward him. and he uses like the planetary devastation jutsu, literally creates like that, and puts the Nomu inside of it, creates like a ginormous like it's like a miniature moon kind of architecture wise. Then Deku literally like uses he activates his space-time ninjutsu. Then he just uses like almighty push Shinra Tensei, and like literally puts the Nomu away in a different dimension, where it's like constantly falling acid from above. So even if the Nomu is like getting healed, it's in like constant agony, and that's just like effed up. Everybody's like, damn, that's too effed up. And they like, that's how he wins it. And every hero just comes. And yeah, every hero just comes to the premise, and they see like the Izuku is like not hurt. He's like not even skate a little bit. Like he doesn't even have any scratch or anything. And he's trying to like heal Aizawa, and Aizawa is like pretty much healed because of his like medical ninjutsu. So Deku is kind of like healing everybody, and they're like good. And he's like, where are the villains? And Deku is like, oh, okay, the villains. Because meanwhile he activated like massive space-time ninjutsu, and he like literally took like all the like knocked out villains in that dimension where gravity is like literally high, so they can't even get up because of the gravity. It's like that intense gravity. Remember, if you watch the Naruto, so they're like constant pain. So after when the hero says like, where are the villains, Deku's like, oh, they're just in a dimension, I just put them in a different dimension. Like, you just put them in a different dimension? What do you mean by that? He's like, yeah, well, I can do that. And he just like he says like, all right, Aizawa-sensei, I hope you're okay. And he takes like bunch of heroes, like 10 or 8 of them, and takes like, okay, but one thing, the gravity in that dimension is extremely tough. So I guess if you could handle extreme pressure, come with me. So except for All Might, everybody when they enter in this like dimension, they just goes like boom, they just like literally falls face first in the ground. It's like, oh, stop it, how can you can you stop it? And he's like, well, yeah, I can. So Deku just puts them like in a chakra cloak on them. Yeah, Deku has that kind of ability too. And the gravity is like, they can like, it's still hard to walk through all that gravity, but they can still like, it's not unbearable. So Deku tells them to, oh, well, round up all the villains, will ya? And they round up all the villains, like put them in like literally on the rope, like tie them with like massively with ropes, because he uses like shadow clones. And then he poops and travels back to the original dimension, and then he goes to like, well, I should take them to the prison. And he just goes to the prison and take them to the prison, and they're like, the police people are like, what is this? And he's like, well, these are the villains that attacked the USJ like unforced simulation joint, like USJ playground, USJ grounds. So they're guilty, and like along with them Aizawa and Nezu came, and along with him and along with them, and Aizawa and Nezu confirms that this is like the one of the student of UA High, and he did this. And they're like, okay, damn kid, you're pretty strong, you have like a really strong coke. And after this whole incident, we are gonna go to the sports festival in the Part 4 of What If, oh boy, Deku Izuku Midoriya, aka the one and only Deku, had the Otsutsuki's power, or was an Otsutsuki. Part 3. So we're gonna go for Part 4. This is your host and host Kranti, saying ta-ta, bye-bye, signing off. And before I go, there's a message from me, and that is, check out my playlist for music, for anime what ifs, and for memes and stuff. And share and subscribe and like if you like this. And remember this: sharing is caring, and subscribing means you love me. So ciao, bye bye, signing off.